Welcome to another episode of Spiritual but Not Religious with Jill Dominguez. An awful lot has been going on the last month or so, today I'd like to share my thoughts on the whirlwind of social and political chaos that surrounds us. I know that a lot of those who voted in the 2024 U.S. presidential election were influenced by conspiracy theories and fear-mongering spread through social media. I saw my own friends and family influenced by those stories. I also know that the ego is easily tricked into believing things that create a sense of self-righteousness. It's easy to get caught up in ideas that cater to your own worldview and suspicions, and it's all too easy to find yourself caught in a web of anger and hatred for those who endanger the values you hold dear. We humans are social creatures who find strength and safety in groups. In his book, The Brain, The Story of You, neuroscientist David Eagleman talks about how once you settle into a group you're comfortable with, that automatically creates an in-group and an out-group. Experiments have shown that while we have empathy for members of our in-group, many have less of an empathic response when viewing harm to someone in an out-group. This makes it easy for someone to take advantage of this difference by encouraging divisiveness to drum up support for getting rid of those that he sees as lesser human beings. We now have a president whose rhetoric is divisive and dehumanizing. He is unable to feel empathy for those he hurts. It is inconceivable to me that we are where we are, and yet, here we are. If you are struggling with finding serenity in these troubled times, you are not alone. I'm including here some thoughts on how we can get through this. First of all, it's important to remember that each of us is on our own path, and our own life is the only one we can live. You cannot control the thoughts and behaviors of others, and others cannot control yours. We are, however, connected. You, me, Trump, and all other living beings were created by a series of events that began with the first replication of DNA. You had no control over the genetic processes that created you any more than Trump had control over his. None of us had control over how we were raised either. Each of us is a product of our own unique biological chemistries and growth environments. Even siblings can be as different as night and day. Every experience we have helps shape our views of the world, and those views help shape our actions and reactions to future experiences. Now, consider that each of us is made up of atoms with protons and neutrons and lots of empty space through which their electrons pass. Atoms get together to create molecules, and these molecules arrange themselves into DNA, RNA, cellular organelles, and cells, and these cells arrange themselves into tissues and organs that work together to keep us alive. And we interact with other things made of molecules. Some are not alive, but they have the same basic makeup of atoms with protons, neutrons, and electrons. Everything is connected to everything else. The elements of the universe have come together to create the stars, the planets, you, me, and Donald Trump. Many of us have found the wherewithal to move forward on the path of enlightenment. We are opening our minds to the universe so that we can experience the limitless love and understanding of non-duality. Some find their way blocked and can't see a way past it. If you've listened to my podcast on David R. Hawkins' book, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender, you may remember that Hawkins delineated the path to enlightenment with his trademarked map of consciousness. According to this map, Trump and others like him are trapped in the anger and pride levels of consciousness, levels 150 to 175. According to Hawkins, Anger expresses itself most often as resentment and revenge, and is, therefore, volatile and dangerous. Anger as a lifestyle is exemplified by irritable, explosive people who are oversensitive to slights and become injustice collectors, quarrelsome, belligerent, or litigious. He also says, pride is defensive and dependent upon external conditions, and that the inflated ego is vulnerable to attack. An overinflated ego is always in danger of being deflated, knocking the prideful person back into shame, the lowest energy level, closest to death. It isn't easy to get past these stages, to let go of our fears, desires, and pride, and move forward to Hawkins energy level 200, or courage, and beyond. I suggest you include these observations during your next meditation. If people can't be but who they are, as defined by genetics, chemistry, and experience, and they don't have the ability to rise to the energy levels of love and compassion, then we must accept them as they are. Getting angry or feeling hatred toward these people does no good. If we are to be loving and compassionate, then we must be thus to all people. Loving every being, even those who lash out and hurt others, doesn't mean you can't oppose their actions. In fact, your compassionate lifestyle is one mode of opposition. Find your own way to help those being threatened and oppressed. By protesting, writing your congressman, or just sharing a positive message or a link to helpful information, you can have a positive impact on the world. Most importantly, if you live in a country where you have the power of the vote, use that power. You can find information on upcoming U.S. elections using the Ballotpedia elections calendar. I'll put a link in the description. Vote in every election for school board or city council members, judges, mayors, governors, state and national congressional members, and president. All of these positions have the ability to control the health of our economy, the well-being of our communities, and the power of our freedom to vote. In a nation built on the principles of a democratic republic, voting is your superpower. According to an NPR recap of the 2024 presidential election, 63.9% of eligible voters cast a ballot. That means that 88 million people didn't use their voting power, giving 155 million people the power to decide the fate of all 245 million eligible voters. A little less than half of those who voted for Trump. All in all, there is much you can do to anchor yourself amid the chaos. As Seneca said in letter 67 to Lucilius, if you have nothing to stir you up and rouse you to action, nothing which will test your resolution by its threats and hostilities, if you recline in unshaken comfort, it is not tranquility, it is merely a flat calm. By taking action and using your power and talents to better the world in your own way, you will find your tranquility. As always, thanks for listening. Take care.